can I tell you, I am not fond of cremations. I just don't like the idea of someone spending eternity in something the size of a motel ice bucket.
He was the nicest guy in town.
He was about the most popular man in Carthage.
Real people person. Just made you feel real good about yourself.
It's like he had cast a spell over the entire area.
Room service.
And she was just a mean, old widow.
She used to tear up my toys. She pulled the heads off my dolls.
Well, there's some goodness in there, too.
Who says opposites don't attract?
She doesn't have anyone. She's a very lonely person. She needs someone.
You sure about that?
From the director of School of Rock and Dazed and Confused.
It was widely assumed that Bernie was accompanying her places.
Oh, yeah, Bernie took her everywhere.
They went to Russia, Acapulco, New York City. They went to Europe, always first class. He bought jet skis, 9 cars.
This spring,
Somewhere along the way, it was just Bernie. He was her servant.
She was demanding,
You should have been here hours ago.
condescending,
All I want is for you to be a man for once in your life.
even conniving.
I know you hate me!
No.
Like everybody else!
I don't know how the guy stood it.
A woman like that with a bad heart, he should have just shoved the pillow right over her face.
There are people in town, honey, that would have shot her for $5.
Everybody's describing Bernie Tiede as an angel.
The nicest fella I've ever met.
He didn't do it.
He's an angel, all right. An angel of death.
That dog don't hunt.
Jack Black, Shirley MacLaine, Matthew McConaughey.
Wheel of misfortune. If your number comes up, Danny Buck's coming to get you first.
Bernie,
In the freezer?
Yeah.
All in one piece or chopped up?
One piece.
Frozen like a popsicle.
Approximately how many hours did you actually get to spend with Bernie? Because I thought it was really fascinating that at the very end, during the credits, they actually showed you talking to him, and a lot of prisons don't allow, TV or film cameras. So I was wondering how many hours do you think you spent with him, and what was anything that maybe changed your perception of him before and after you met him?
Well, we had a couple hours with him in the prison. He showed us around. We got to see his cell. Keeps it nice and clean, customized. We got to see his workspace where he goes into the workshop and makes things with his friends. And got to go to a room and just have an interview with him for about 45 minutes. But yeah, that's how long it was. Did it match up with his story? Do our stories match up? Now I'm worried that you're gonna catch us in a lie.
No. I'm just curious to know if your perception of him maybe changed,
Oh,
after
right.
you met him. That's what I was trying to ask.
No, I was thankful that it reinforced what we had thought. That he was this sweet, soft-spoken guy who was the most popular guy in prison, as he was the most popular guy in a small town of Carthage. That's just who he is. He has a thing, I think, that he likes to be liked, and maybe too much. I have the same thing. I like to be liked. If I get the feeling that someone is mad at me or doesn't like me for some reason, I'll try to win them over. And that's part of, I think, the reason why he stuck around so long. Instead of just leaving, just leave that horrible relationship he has with that lady. He stayed, and things obviously went bad, to say the least.
Did you, was there any part when you felt really kind of, because you still had to perform, right, but you were really leaning towards his side of the story, that you just absorbed it and really came out with this very raw feeling towards when you did that scene where you killed her, because it was just so surprising. It to us viewers, we were expecting, you would, but it was just so this sudden thing. How did you channel all that with that specific scene?
Well, that was the tough part. That's the part that you read in the script and go, oh my God, that's going to be a tough scene to do, you circle it on the calendar when it's coming time to do it. And how did I do it? I just sort of imagined times when I've been, in the worst possible situation. Obviously, I didn't do something like that, but you try to put yourself in the situation. That's all. You play the what if game. What if I was, pushed to the limit and snapped? What would that be like? That's what I did.
I already asked the director too, but after watching the movie, do you think that the perspective is more for Bernie than against him? Watching the movie, or
the movie itself? How does it present the case? I think there's a lot of gray area. It's not clear. There's a lot of questions watching it, which it's kind of like life. It's more like life. There's a lot of movies. Most movies, it's clear good and evil and cut and dry, good guy, bad guy. But this one, I think it's pretty evenly presented.
Is that the first time you worked with Matthew?
Matthew McConaughey, yeah, it's great. He's amazing.
And Shirley is that. We knew that Shirley loved to act with you. What was the relationship with?
Shirley, yeah, she's a hero of mine. Love her career, especially like the early stuff. Like, did you ever see The Apartment?
Yeah,
incredible.
Oh, yeah. Billy Wilder. Yeah.
Yeah, she's had an incredible career. So it was intimidating at first, but then she was very complimentary to me. It made me feel like I was worthy to be in her presence, and relaxed me by laughing at my stupid jokes, and we had fun.
What was your idea of why he was attracted to older women?
What was her idea?
No, what was your idea?
What was my idea? Well, he lost his mother when he was very young. We don't touch on that in the movie, but just from talking to him, I knew that he's missing that in his own life, so maybe he was looking for that kind of a mother figure out in the real world. But in his profession, that's sort of where he that's the comfort zone, because he was always dealing with older couples, that were dying. That's primarily the people in the funeral business. And he would go and comfort the old ladies, when their husbands die, and that's just who he was always around. But further than that, I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Bernie.
Well, switching gears, I have to ask you, because Tenacious D's out, gonna hit the road again. What can people expect? And if, from your perspective, someone who's traveled a lot, what's the best and worst thing about being, a musician on tour?
Best thing about being a musician on tour is just seeing the world. It's such a fun way to travel. I don't like to go travel on vacation for fun. It's really boring to me, and I also get really anxious. Like, I gotta get home and do some work. My life is passing me by while I'm out here wasting time just looking at stuff. But when you're going on tour and rocking and working, and looking out your window once in a while, going, "Wow, I'm in Cleveland," it's a much more fun way to see the world.
And what can people expect on this tour? And besides, obviously, playing stuff from the new album, but
we will be playing as though our lives depend on it. That's how, because it's kind of true. When your back's against the wall and you're making your big last stand, your comeback album, then you have to really bring the rock.
Is it being filmed for DVD? Possibly, I have to ask that.
We don't have plans to, no, but you never know. We probably will somewhere along the line.
How is it like working with Richard again? And it's, now that you've done the second film.
It was great. He's very thorough and creative in a way that I have not found in other directors. He loves to read through it a lot with the actors and really rehearse it, and that's why I wanted to work with them again. Is because there's not a lot of directors who rehearse. Usually they just show up on the set on the day of the filming, and I'm from theater, so I appreciate that kind of preparation. Right. So is he.
Was there anything in particular when you had to basically play a choir guy,
right,
that you drew inspiration from, maybe, you know, from your childhood or anything that you saw in movies? Or did that just all come from you, or just like watching maybe footage of Bernie? Tell us about that, because I think that's when Richard was in here earlier saying that's one of the reasons why he really wanted you in this film, because you can pull off the singing.
Right.
So tell us about, you know, going to that choir mode in terms of your preparation.
I didn't go to church. I mean, the only time I've really been to church is for weddings and stuff like that. But yeah, I got to watch a lot of footage of Bernie in churches, conducting services and singing for congregations, and that was really what I based it on. And when we were getting ready to do the movie, Rick sent me over a bunch of gospel songs and said, yeah, let's think about which songs will be good to sing. And I picked out my favorite ones, and he picked out his favorite ones, and we figured them out. But there's some great songs in there that I'd never heard before. Obviously, it's not my style of music that I usually do. I'm way more rock, heavy metal. But I was thinking about it that they're kind of two sides of the same coin, because hard rock, heavy metal is all about the Antichrist. And so there would be no Antichrist without Christ. And so that's the music of the opposite, you know what I mean? So the gospel was like looking at the light side of the moon when I've been on the dark side.
Did you like the script as soon as you read it? And if so, why? What for?
Did I like the script? As soon as I read it? Yeah. Because it spoke to me. I could hear his voice. I knew what I wanted to do with it. And the fact that he's the nicest guy in town and he's the least likely to commit a murder, and then the fact that he puts her in the freezer for 9 months, it's a very strange, compelling story.
I didn't know it was a true story when I went to see it, and honestly didn't read the synopsis. So I honestly thought that since your character, not a character, that Bernie was an assistant funeral director, he wouldn't have to put her in the freezer. He'd be able to just bring her to the home, do her makeup, and find some excuse like the family released the body. Right. I really thought there was going to be some sort of tie-in with that, but apparently not. He did put her in the freezer under the... I had a good laugh that it was under the corn, the frozen corn on the cob. You saw her hair like right next to the bag of the corn on the cob. Mm. But my real question is, do you still keep in touch with Bernie? I know you visited him in jail before you did the film. We've had
a couple letters, correspondence, but I have not been back to the prison to see him again. I wanted to see him. I wanted to take the movie to the prison and screen it for him and the inmates, but apparently the prison has said no dice. We will not be allowed to show it there, so that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully he'll see it. And he's got a lot more time in prison before he's up for parole, so.
What do you like most about that part of Texas?
East Texas?
Yeah.
The truth is we filmed it in Austin, and near Austin, and I've never been to Carthage or East Texas. So I can't say that I really know. But if it's anything like Austin, I would say the barbecue.
Excellent. What else do you have coming up? Because I know that obviously people are going to expect another Kung Fu Panda sequel at some point.
Yeah, I hope so. I'd love to do another Kung Fu Panda. That's a no-brainer if that comes around. But in the meantime, I've got the D. I've got the record release next month. I'm going to go on the world tour, so that's going to take up most of the rest of the year. Got a movie I want to make with Charlie Kaufman after that, and a couple other things on the back burner.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.